The handoff happened 6 feet in front of me. A guy in a polo shirt, slipping a manila envelope to a cowboy like it was a drug deal. I was reaching for my phone when my whole body froze. Kingston West was 20 feet away, heading for the stock pens. He moved as though every inch of dirt under his boots belonged to him. My phone slipped. I caught it against my stomach, fumbled it, then nearly dropped it again. He glanced up at me without a smile or a nod, as though I were a tick to be brushed away. Or worse, a stranger. Then he pivoted and went in the opposite direction. "Lyric, we doing this?" Cody Barrett was standing 3 feet away with his hat in his hands. Right, the interview. Yeah, yep, absolutely. I raised my phone, hit record, and aimed it at him. "So, Cody, you drew Bone Crusher tonight. How's it feel knowing you're probably gonna die?" He blinked. "What?" "92% buck-off rate. You got a will?" He grinned. "Here's something else. I've been told." I adjusted the angle. "Real talk. Chute opens, 2,000 pounds of pissed-off beef. What's going through your mind?" "Nothing. That's the trick." "So, aggressive stupidity." "Zen-like focus. Clean boots, lucky socks, no underwear. Routine's everything." "No underwear?" "Restricts my movement." "I'm not putting that in the interview." "Your loss." "So, last month in Prescott, when Sidewinder dragged you across the arena, that was Zen-like focus?" His brow shot up, but he chuckled. "Guess you saw that, huh?" "I see everything." I lowered my phone. "All right, cowboy, we're good. You okay if we use this for a behind-the-scenes intro to your ride tonight?" "Hell yeah." He didn't move. "So, Lyric Simmons. Here we go. I'm a lot more interesting off camera. Just saying." "Cody, you're funny, you've got a sweet smile, and you don't wear underwear." He remembered. "But my life's chaotic enough without adding tragically widowed to my list of problems." Cody was cute, compact, quick, built for balance, a typical bull rider. Not my type. I like them bigger, taller, built like they could throw a steer to the ground bare-handed. Not that I was thinking of anyone specific. The universe apparently disagreed.
The bull was off. I ran my hand down Rattler's hind leg, feeling for heat, swelling, or anything that would explain why 2,000 pounds of rank bull had been moving like the fight was out of him. "You see it, too?" Thorne crouched next to me, keeping one hand on the bull's flank. "Yeah, he was fine yesterday. He's not fine now." Rattler swung his massive skull in our direction, all attitude, like he wanted to prove me wrong. But I'd been doing this long enough to know when something wasn't right. "Pull him from tonight," I said. "Get Doc Warren to take a look." Thorne nodded and headed off to find the vet. I stayed where I was, staring at the bull like he'd give me answers. Third animal this month that had been off. It could be a coincidence, or the feed, or stress from the road. At least Mindbender was home. I'd left him at Sangre Vista to rest up for Scottsdale next week, and I was glad I had. Whatever was going on out here, my best bull wasn't part of it. I pushed the thought aside and got to work. The stock pens were my office. Had been since I'd hung up my competition number and taken over Roaring Fork's rough stock program. Different side of the fence, same dirt under my boots. Thorne and I ran a tight ship. Or we used to. "Hey, King." A blonde in a tight shirt was draped over the fence, smiling at me like she had something to offer. Behind her, 2 more women pretended to be interested in the bulls. This happened every rodeo. Same script, different faces. "We were wondering if you'd have time for a drink later, after the events." "Busy." "After you're done being busy?" "Still busy." The blonde's smile faltered. She glanced at her friends, then at me. "We've heard stories, is all. Thought maybe the stories were exaggerated." "They're not." Her brow rose and she laughed. "Cocky?" Honest. So there's really no chance. None. They left, whispering to each other, probably calling me an asshole. They wouldn't be wrong. Thorne reappeared, grinning. You know, most men would kill to have your problems. Most men are idiots. Can't argue with that. He handed me a clipboard. Doc's looking at Rattler. Says it's a minor inflammation, nothing serious, but he wants us to pull him anyway. Exactly as I'd told him to, but there was no point in reminding him that.